Guys, Nutty Professor here. Welcome to Project Indian. I'm going to do a few videos on how I'm building this board tracker from absolute bare bones. So I suppose we'll call this episode 1. Yeah, hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, this is the bike I'm going to try and replicate. It's a factory 8-valve V-twin, capable of well over 100 miles an hour back in 1912, and pretty crazy sort of stuff really. So it'd be great to have one of my own, and I definitely can't afford one, so I think I'm just going to have to try and make one. As per usual with all my sort of builds, I like to try and start with the more difficult parts. So I'm gonna try and construct the engine first, and then the rest of it should follow on from there. So yeah, I'll show you how I've gone about it. Number one thing to do is to actually get a good scale of the bike. So what I've done in previous projects is take photos, whether they be from the internet or in the flesh or whatever. You can scale a drawing with a good profile picture to get all the angles of the frame, and with research you can find out the wheelbase, tyre size, all those type of dimensions that you can draw into a life-size drawing, and then you can start filling in the blanks. I was actually a bit lucky on this build. I was able to see one of these bikes in the flesh and take a few quick measurements of the basic wheelbase and height and different parts that I thought would be relevant at the time in constructing the build. So yeah, there's a hell of a lot of rocket science involved, as far as I'm concerned anyway, for someone of my intelligence. Done a lot of drawings to get me started so that I know that I can actually work with the parts at hand. I can fit them in my lathe or mill, and yeah, see if we've got all the necessary tooling to carry out the operations. So on with the casting of the crankcases. I've never cast anything this detailed before, but I know a little bit about casting as far as draft and allowing for shrinkage in the material and all that type of thing. So yeah, I've been reasonably successful with casting the cases. I've used old car parts because they're similar alloy that lend themselves to casting and machining. So probably looking at half a dozen water pump housings and stuff here. So yeah, there's a few failures that have gone on there and just the end result, starting to machine it in the mill. After getting the casings half sorted, I've decided to go on the engine internals. So conrods seem to be a fairly decent place to start. So I thought make them out of a bit of railway line. Yeah, you put in various operations in the mill to get it to a point where it's looking like the finished article. Trying to work to as tight a tolerances as I can. I'm not expert machinist at all, but the parts are all sort of within a thou tolerance in all the operations that I've done on them. The pistons have been turned with a 1.5 thou taper on them from top to bottom to allow for expansion. Yeah, and got into gear cutting, and yeah, it's definitely pushing the boundaries on this build for what I can do at my shop. Had to turn up the flywheels and balance the crankshaft. I've used a balance factor of 60%, so that's, for anyone who knows, that's basically one complete piston assembly hanging off the rods and that to make it all in the balance range where we want it. So that pretty much brings you up to speed of where I'm at with it at the moment. As you can see, I'm sort of well on the way to getting a few bits and pieces organised. So I am going to do another video on the rocker gear and the camshaft production, as well as the actual cam chest itself, the little casting there, and that's got quite a few operations in it. Sorry my filming isn't that great, but it's a bit hard to do filming and machining all at the one time. So yeah, you just have to persist with me on that one. So until then, anyway, keep on machining. Thanks, guys.